Disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman.
Hi, beautiful people. It's your girl, Fire. This has been quite a week after the news came out about Mahogany Jackson, and I want to take a moment of silence for that young lady who lost her life at the age of 20 and had a child, and what like our family may be going through right now. But one upside about the situation is that in the midst of the predicament that she was in at the time of her demise, she was able to tell her family her location, which helped the police to capture the assailants who committed a crime against her and to help to bring justice, opposed to the situation with Shanquella Robinson. Like, I don't know the update. I haven't been following that case, but how like there's still no justice for Shanquella Robinson says a lot. And also this weekend, I have been like freaking glued to like YouTube with all that's going on, and just thinking about in March, this month marks the fourth year as we are in a pandemic. And it also in 2020 we also entered into the Age of Aquarius, also known as the Age of the Divine Feminine, because like I think we just need to take a moment and just reflect of like the history of America since 1619 up to now. It has been dominated and ruled on a patriarchy, under male dominance, and and there's a lot of conversation about women, especially black women, being masculine, and some men want to describe what femininity is, but in reality, we both have have a balance within of both masculine and feminine energy. And just going back to the Chinese symbol, the yin and yang, both feminine and masculine energy is both needed for balance. And and I just think that's a place where we all need to get to find our balance. And no matter what we doing in life, but I know since the beginning of the pandemic up to now, one thing I have been working on is like being more vocal, um, expressing myself more freely, um, especially since like in like my accident, I wasn't after waking up from a 2-month coma. I wasn't able to talk for a long time. So communication is like a huge challenge for me sometimes. Sometimes I miss my words, or sometimes my brain is like an empty void of nothing, and it's hard to think or to communicate. So that's something that I have been working on, and as a tool since like 2021, I made a commitment that I should do live streams to help me to improve my speech and to help me improve my presence in the world and to help relate to others and to build community. And I think I have come such a long way from how I started because, like, for a long time, I was very scared of people, scared to interact with people, especially since I, I didn't receive the appropriate resources that I needed to help me live a comfortable, successful, and independent life as a traumatic brain injury survivor who's re-entering into an inaccessible society, who also happens to be Black, a woman. I experienced everything from ableism, racism, misogyny, colorism, ageism. Ageism is like a huge thing because, like, a lot of people think like I'm a teenager or I'm 19, but I had to tell people I'm grown than that thing. I would be 33 next month. And sometimes, like, because I'm a person, I don't like conflict because I know the other side of me and what can be the leading result. And I don't look green in an orange jumpsuit. And speaking of that, I also want to touch on like a lot of full circle moments that I have been seeing, especially since like my personal situation of navigating the legal system. I have become very interested and obsessed of how the process of the legal system, and not have never going to school to be like a lawyer, and I had to learn everything I need to within 5 or 6 months to protect my rights because, yeah, but a lot of stories have come out. One that I'm happy to see that justice have come like a full circle moment. What, like, I don't know if y'all heard about Nature Boy, the cult leader, but I came to know about him back in 2017, like 2 years after he first started his following, and I seen the early like crimes and injustice that he committed against his followers. And 7 years later, to see that he received like a life sentence from all the injustice that he have done, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about balance and the revelation, and how the Age of Aquarius is open our eyes to all the injustice that we have experienced for so long, that we so often turn a blind eye to, or we dismiss because we don't want to deal with it. So I'm very happy and excited that justice was served to that situation. Y'all can look up Nature Board if y'all want to learn more about that situation. But one story that really have caught my attention is the mayor of Dalton. She called herself the super mayor, and all her shenanigans, and just to hear that the city of Dalton is in a $7 million deficit because of her inadequacy and how she mishandled funds and stuff. And that's another story that I want to get into later deeper, but I also want to touch on some other court cases regarding Black women that I have seen. One is with another mayor of East Point, Michigan. I don't know if she's still the mayor, but Monique. And it's just like the state, like, even though we say like protect Black women, to listen to Black women, and I'm all for that, because as a neurodivergent Black woman, I understand the plight of Black women and how our pain has been silenced for so long. But because like our pain have been silenced for so long, we often have to put on this armor, this mask in order to protect ourselves, to be strong, because no one else is going to save us by ourselves. In becoming that, we become disrespectful and bring harm to other Black women, which is a problem. And we often, a lot of times, we talk about toxic masculinity, but we don't talk about toxic femininity. And this is all about what I think the age of Aquarius, and that's also known as the divine feminine, because the femininity voice have been silenced, brutalized, and violated under this patriarchal society. And we all trying to find balance and find our truth, but we also breaking other people down and silence other people's voices in order to be heard. This is the main problem I have with cancel culture. And I feel like through years, so many times we have been traumatized, and we all fighting to be heard. And it's kind of like the oppression Olympics right now. And I also want to play another video regarding how, before I get more into details about the situation with Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. I want to play this video to discuss like like how, like, different type of ways of how Black women can show up, especially in the workplace, because so often we feel like nobody cares or no one understands. Sometimes we can be seen as over emotional, or people can see us as intimidating, where we all have access to the full human experience. And I think this video will shine with
Thousand
a
Black women
lot
were
of data to
surveyed,
what
and
I'm saying.
only
Wait,
one in two said that they felt safe enough at work to like speak honestly with their manager. Thousand Black women were surveyed, and only one in two said that they felt safe enough at work to like speak honestly with their manager, but the other half were just like, I do not feel safe at work. Now, another piece of research that's just come out, and I think it was like Harvard Business School that published it, over 20,000 Black women over like a 10-year period in like professional services firms found that Black women had worse career outcomes when they were like not around other Black people, because they were like given like extra scrutiny. They had to like face additional challenges. They weren't in an environment where they could thrive. And I feel like these two pieces of data are connected, because we have one piece of data that shows us Black women don't feel safe at work, and they don't even feel safe enough to tell people what they need to have better outcomes at work. And then secondly, you have this study that shows that when Black people don't have other Black people around, they have worse outcomes, probably because it's this idea that like, I cannot trust you.
And I think that's very important. And then I want to shed light on Dr. Bailey, who took her own life after, I don't know what university she was working for, but she was experiencing bullying within the workplace. And she sent numerous emails to get help with this situation. And she felt so hopeless that the only option she felt that she could take was to take her own life. And it just like really like hurt me, like, for like people to like feel like that. And I feel like so much in like this society, we all put on a mask. And even though masking is a very important term within the neurodivergent community, because a lot of times as neurodivergent individuals, we feel the need to mask in order to be included in an inaccessible society. And even though the neurodivergent community is aware of masking, And I also think masking is very similar to performance culture, what we see on like social media or cloud chasing. Like we all, I feel like as humans, we all don't give ourselves the privilege to experience, to have the full human experience, to go through the emotions, to be sad, to properly grieve, to be angry, and to know that it's okay, and not to feel shame because other people don't get it. And I think right there, that is the problem. And that brings me to the super mayor, that what she want to call herself, Tiffany Henyard. And I listened to all the YouTube videos. Homegirl, she gonna be in trouble. The FBI, the Attorney General of Illinois is currently investigating her, and she thinks she's doing a thing by vetoing the trustees of Dalton so they don't investigate her and get the records that they need of the financial information of how she been spending money. And even though, and all through the video, and I see her shenanigans and all the actions that she doing, all I can see is a hurt little girl who didn't get seen or the needed attention that she needed growing up. How, and I can see that she's taken the opportunity of being mayor of Dalton. Yes, she's the first and youngest woman mayor in Dalton, but she's taken this opportunity to live the life that she always wished she would have, but she don't understand the harm that she is doing to that community. Like, and she not understanding by her recording and doing everything for social media. She is leaving a paper trail and making it easier for the investigation process. And even though she think like I say like she's so Chicago. And when I say she's so Chicago, that means she's a finesser. That's all she know. Because at first I thought like she's a brilliant, like she's a good talker. She crass, man. I don't know how to pronounce that word. But she's a very likable person and have fun energy. But the fact is that she have no experience in political office. She didn't take the necessary steps needed to help position her and give her the tool to be mayor, and she not listen to the advisors there to help guide her because she thinks she knows best, and she's going to find out that fat meat ain't greasy. Because like I listened to all the videos, and I seen all the things, I read all the articles. Sisters look, yeah. But I say that to say, like, just like I know as my experience as being a neurodivergent entrepreneur, and a lot of times as business. And even though I'm against like the standard ways of doing business, because I think a lot like how usually we see like business and corporations and how it exploit creative genius and rob people of their creative gift, especially what we've seen in Hollywood, in the music industry, and with the actor and writer strike. And I just think there needs to be a shift where it's not a thing where everybody is like, because times like with COVID, like times is hard. It has really shaken up everything, and we all have to find ways to pivot and to adapt to the new norm to help to co-create a society in a world that's accessible for everyone, regardless of their race, their sexuality, their size, their religion. But we need to find out how to be how to interact in a world where there's so many differences, because there's over 8 billion people in the world, and we all not going to think the same. We're not going to agree, and that's okay, because that's what makes the world goes round. That's what makes the world interesting, different perspectives. And once we get to a level where we like, okay, we don't scrutinize someone else because they're different, that's when I feel like we would enter into a new sphere or a new dimension, where like it's kind of like we talk about this utopia, or this universe where it's peace and everyone is getting together and it's functional for everyone. I believe that is possible, but it's going to take a lot of work for us to get there. And a lot of times we talk about like codependency, trauma bonding, hyper independence. That's a lot of times that happen from like trauma, but we don't talk about interdependence. And I think that's a very important tool in all works of life, because yes, because like that's one thing that I'm working on, because like my experience of not receiving the tools I need, I developed a sense of hyper independence, which is a trauma response that I have. But and sometimes it is hard to ask for help, or having to depend on a person. And it's even more harder when like I feel at times where I'm being open and asking for help, and I'm probably not saying the right things, especially with my challenges, and I don't receive the help or the need that I need. And then I say like, well, I do it myself. And part of that problem is because I have real problems like with my communication skills, because the frontal lobe of my brain was severely damaged, which control your organization and social skills. So, and I'm still recovering from a bad incident that I experienced while I was in the psych ward, that disrupted my thoughts from my emotion and my brain function. I'm just now gaining brain functions 10 years later. So I see the vast difference, and I'm happy to be here. And I want to play this other video that with like, because I know when I first developed my TBI, there wasn't a lot of information out about how trauma and severe damage impacts the brain. And I'm just so happy that more people are talking about self-care, mental health, wellness, and more medical professionals are coming out and talking about how trauma really affects the brain. And this is going to be shown in this video that I'm going to show next. Oh, okay, here we go.
A brain that's supposed to be resting is supposed to look like this. That is a brain of someone who has experienced a lot of trauma in their life. It can't shut down. It cycles constantly. All of this is energy. All of that is glucose being spent, being burned. All of that is oxygen uptake. That's scary. You think about that. Think about how exhausted your brain is by the end of the day.
The Oscar goes to Devine.
This is the first Oscar win and nomination for Devine Joy Reynolds.
God is so good. God is so good. You know, I didn't think I was supposed to be doing this as a career. I started off as a singer, and my mother said to me, go across that street to that theater department. There's something for you there. And I thank my mother for doing that. I thank you to all the people who have stepped in my path and has been there for me, who has ushered me and guided me. I am so grateful to all you beautiful people out here. For so long, I've always wanted to be different. And now I realize I just need to be myself. And I thank you. I thank you for seeing me. Ron Van Loo, I thank you. When I was the only black girl in that class, when you saw me and you told me I was enough, and when I told you I don't see myself, you said, that's fine. We're going to forge our own path. You're going to lay a trail for yourself. I am so grateful to all the women who have been by my side: Colleen Camp, Barbara Broccoli, Tracy Brennan, Sarah Fargo. I have to give a special shout out to my publicist. And I know y'all said don't say nothing about no publicist, but you don't have a publicist like I have a publicist. You have been by my side through the entire thing, and I am forever grateful. I pray to God that I get to do this more than once. I thank you for seeing me. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much.
And I think Divine says something important in that speech. Like, she said all she ever wants to be was different, but she found out all she needed was to be herself. And I think that's a very important, like, that's like a mic drop, because I think so many times as humans we try so hard to be different, to forge our own path, and to get so caught up in a mentality or a thinking that don't fulfill our soul. And a lot of times why I feel like we trying to go against the grain, we lose ourselves because we looking outside of ourselves instead of looking within to find our truth at the core. And I think that's so important, of not just wanting to be different, but just finding our truth and being true to ourselves, and just shining bright like a diamond, regardless if people get it or don't. Because, like, my tagline for Black Girl Fire was, Black Girl Fire is a creative experience company providing a platform for the misunderstood, unheard, unseen by turning their trauma into artistic healing experiences. And what I learned on my journey, and especially during these 4 years during the pandemic, like, everybody is not going to get it. Everybody is entitled to their perspective and perception, thoughts and opinions, and what other people think and feel and treat and what they say about me is it's none of my business, and it shouldn't matter. And my only focus is being my best self, shining bright like a diamond, and feeling the goodness and rocking with the people who rock with me. And it took, and like, even though I feel like, because I always felt like I couldn't keep up with the society, and so I had to work like this. But no, I work at my own pace. That's why I forge my own path. I create my own reality, and I think that's what's so important about, like, I like, even though I'm not happy that I experienced all the trauma with the near death like car accident, but waking up out of that 2-month coma, and within 4 months being able to talk and speak on my own, but instantly being hit with the boundaries and the limitations what people place on me. Because what happened to me, instead of people talking to me and working with me and seeing my capabilities, which led me feeling inadequate, or like I constantly be called like I'm retarded and stuff, I took on that persona, and today I'm stepping out of it. I'm taking ownership of my life. And I encourage all you beautiful souls, cosmic souls, rebel warriors, to step out on faith and trust yourself, and just be self-full, and know that you are beautiful, you are phenomenal, you are glorious, you are one in a million, ain't nothing else like you. And you are here to live your best life and go against the grain, because only you know your full story. You know in depth what you feel each and every day. And even though people can sympathize and empathize, but no one will fully know the magnitude of what you have been through or experienced. And I spent so long to get people to understand, to see, and to hear me. But I'm just like knowing now that I don't have to wait on others to validate my existence. That I am me existing is enough, and 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 that is not a privilege, that I am owed to have the full human experience. And I would not allow others to rob me of that gift. So thank you, beautiful souls, for listening. And I want to remind you to remember to be kind and gentle to yourself. Times has been hard, and it's time that we build community with others, and to co-create the new earth where all are included, regardless of race, sexuality, gender, religion, or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Peace out.